I don't know. Yeah, it does not.
And I'm going to go ahead and give people time to.
Cool.
All right.
You tagged us just now, it looks like.
Evening. And I'm also going to tag you guys. It's friends. Right. Okay, let's see. You got it.
Yeah, I just shared it.
Okay.
I don't have anything yet.
Well, it's not even letting me tag anybody.
If you just go to your page, you can see it though. It's the first thing on your page.
Okay, cool.
On mine?
On Reagan's page.
You said
Okay.
you can't tag us?
Hold on. Let me see. Let's try it again. Yeah, here we go.
Nice.
And good evening, everybody. We're going to give the people a few minutes to jump on. Thank you for joining us this evening. All right, here we go. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is Reagan Adams with Dating is Dead, Who Killed It? So what is Dating is Dead, Who Killed It? So it's an event I started about 6 years ago to talk about relationships because I am a lover of relationships, especially Black love. And I believe men and women want the same thing, but we just kind of go about it a different way, maybe or maybe not. But what I always want to do is bring in experts to kind of give us tools to be able to help shed a little light on the different conversations. We don't know everything, and I'm tired of having conversations and kind of going round and round about it and not having a solution. And so that's, to me, what Dating is Dead is. So tonight we have some experts on here, and I'm going to call them experts because I think they are. They are also certified to be able to talk about what they're talking about tonight. One specifically, if I'm going to favorite him, is my dating coach. Yes, I have a dating coach, Troy Spry. And I know I've had a lot of different conversations with D'Angelo. I know he's like, look, I'm getting ready to run you a tape.
No, it's fine. He's the favorite. It's fine. Keep it. Whatever.
And brother and y'all too, I sought him out last year, just kind of looking around to see who was doing things about dating. And you know, I respect him definitely. I don't listen to a lot of people, so if you see them on my live, you know they're talking about something. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to let these brothers introduce themselves. You guys go ahead. I guess we'll start with Brother Nyatu.
Hey everybody, my name is Nyatu Marvel. I am a relationship and dating consultant out of Chicago. Just launched the Hitch agency. Hitch is an acronym for Healing Individuals to Connect Healthily. I am a newly published author. I contributed a chapter to the book, Why He Married Her, and played me 9 secrets to what he's thinking. A Black-owned, Black woman-owned publishing company approached me about contributing a chapter to this book. Myself and 8 other gentlemen contributed a chapter, and 2 Black men who are PhDs did the intro and the conclusion at the end. So just excited to be in the space, and most importantly, I'm a Black love enthusiast. Thank you for having me, Reagan.
Thank you. D'Angelo?
My name is D'Angelo Robinson. Own a company called D'Angelo Speaks. I travel a speaker about a corporate educator, speaker, mental health advocate about building healthy relationships. And so that looks differently. It can have different angles, different perspectives, but it's all about building healthy relationships. And so that's what I do. Website is d'angelospeaks.com. I actually have something coming up on navigating stress and anxiety, holiday edition, on the 16th of December at 6 o'clock. So you can go to the webpage and get admission to that, or check my page out and you'll see all the information for that. The holidays are a time, especially in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, with everything going around with COVID and stuff, it's hard. And so giving you some strategies to be able to cope in the now, but also long term. So
Okay.
Last but not least, Brother Troy.
So what's going on, everybody? It's Troy Spry, certified life and relationship coach, speaker, and author of the book, Teach Me How to Love, What You Don't Know Will Hurt You. Simply put, I help people get out of their own way in life and in love. That's what I do, and that's what I'm passionate about. So let's get it.
And he's definitely helped me, side notes, because listen, just a small background and I will get started. I'm recently divorced, and I haven't dated in over 20 years. And so it looks a whole lot different than it did before, but really talking to Troy, it really doesn't. We just added technology. And so he has really put my mind at ease. And right now, like, I'm having a really good time dating.
And you're a good student. You're a great student. So it makes coaching you a lot easier. So I appreciate you trusting me with that.
Absolutely. So, and either three of these men can do the dating coaching. So we'll talk about that later, but they all are really great. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So last night, or the night before last, we had a conversation about being feminine energy. And I believe that people kind of got confused as to what that was and what that does and all of that good stuff. So what I want to do is talk about feminine energy first. So if you guys can give me your definition of feminine energy.
Ooh. I don't have feminine energy, but I'll expand on, well, some ways I do, possibly. So, let's talk about that. So for me, feminine energy is all about your aura, right? It's about how you make me feel in your energy, in your space. Do you make me feel like I'm wanted, like I'm supported, like I'm needed? Do you feel like I'm valued? Do you come off as someone who is the yin to my yang, right? So if I've got a lot of testosterone, you got a lot of estrogen, and you can kind of calm me down and you can keep me in a place of peace, that's what I think good feminine energy is about. It's about making me really, if I put it in practical terms, do I want to come home to you, right? Do I want to come home to your energy? Can I, is that the energy I want to walk into the house and be at after a long day? So that's how I would define it. It's probably not a formal definition, but that's how I would define it.
Okay. Who's
so
next?
taking Tony's definition and merging it with what Webster would say, Webster would separate men and women in terms of the traits or qualities that they bring. But according to what Troy just said, I think that we both should have just energy. I don't know if there's a such thing as feminine or masculine, because I remember I took a class, I think it was the women's studies class, and it's 200 students. I'm one of 5 guys. And she asked, what is a man? And we said, he's strong, he's tall, he makes a lot of money, he's a provider, he's blah, blah, blah. Well, what's a female? And we go, well, she's nurturing and she's, emotional and she's blah, blah, blah. And the question was, why can't a woman make a lot of money? Why can't a woman be tall or be strong? And why can't a guy be nurturing and be emotional? And so I just think no one wants to come home to bad energy, period. I don't, it's all about your preference as a man about what kind of or type of energy you're looking for. But I don't think anybody wants to come home to bad energy, period.
Please.
And y'all too?
Similar to Troy, I like to be careful about definitions, but I definitely feel like I know what divine feminine energy is not, right? No, when I think of feminine energy, I think of softness, and water is soft, but it's strong, very strong as well. So, you can drip water on concrete or a rock, and eventually will crack and seep through, but it's still soft. I don't want to date a man, so I don't want to date a woman who's in some type of machismo competition with me, who sees me as her competition or somebody to be trying to one up on me. I love everything soft about a woman. So a woman who embraces that and embodies that is very attractive to me. Everything soft and everything feminine. I love sundresses. I love nice legs. I love everything do heels to make your legs strong. I appreciate every sacrifice and or extra mile that women go through to accentuate their beauty. And so to me, that is feminine energy. Women can make a lot of money. women can be strong, but sometimes women confuse being strong with being masculine and or being abrasive. I think that social media has desensitize people in a way that people say things on social media that they wouldn't say at work. They wouldn't even say stuff sitting around the house in private with their friends. I think that the shock and awe attraction to social media and that culture that exists on social media has people acting out of their characters and out of their
and Reagan, and I'll say this too, Reagan, if I can add to that, and I love what these brothers are saying, is I think there's a thing called time and place, right? There's time and place. And so time and place means that, there may be some areas in your life that you have to exert, more of a dominant type of energy. Maybe that's the boardroom or wherever it is. What I value about a woman is one that's versatile, right? Can she be versatile? Can she do this over here and turn that off when I get home and still make me feel like, I'm the king of my castle? You see what I mean? To me, that versatility, some women, what I've seen is they can't turn it off. They're just this way all the time. And that butts heads. So you go and you make X amount of money and you do all these things that are, I hate to use the word masculine, but you do all these things that are traditionally masculine. I don't really believe in it. But then you come home and you still carry that same energy. It's like, now we fighting. Like the way I am with my boys, I don't want to be like that with my woman. You see what I mean? So that's just, if I had to put it in practical terms, that's how I would look at it.
Okay. Well, that was good. So to kind of tag on to that as an extra question, do you think, well, I've heard that a lot of women, and I think you probably answered this already, lack a lot of feminine energy right now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a survival response that unfortunately the family dynamic has been broken, and so when you have to be both parents and you're the sole provider, and you're out here working in a male-dominated workforce, and you're surviving in the jungle that is this world right now, it will bring the masculine energy out of a woman who doesn't have someone else to take that role for her. And then, you've been taking care of things yourself. You've been doing things yourself. You've been the disciplinarian. You've been the nurturer. You've been, all of these different things in all these areas of your life. And then when you meet a man, like Troy said, it's hard for you to turn it off.
I love that. I love that. that is like, and a little bit more background on that. There's a lot of reasons that all that happens, and it's not just because all men or whatever. There's systemic reasons why all this is happening from slavery. And we talked about this previously. Reagan, like men being sold apart from the women. Black men being mass incarcerated, specifically Black and Latino men being mass incarcerated in these private prisons to like certain laws and like, longer sentences, 3-strike rules, all that kind of stuff. And so it's not just by happenstance, but I want people to know that the favorite line is, this is just how I am. And that's not true. It's a defense mechanism that we've built. The same thing that Mr. Marvel said, it's a defense mechanism that we've all built to be able to protect ourselves. And sometimes when you meet a man who actually takes that off of you and wants to, it's hard to let it go. Because what if he's not here anymore? What if he leaves? Now I was soft and I shouldn't have been. I should have been hard, and I regret it. Right. So that's really hard to do for a lot of women. But it's. I just want people to know it's not you. It doesn't have to be you. It's who you had to be.
Absolutely. That's true. I'm actually, and I want to tag on to what you were saying. I'm kind of going through that right now as I'm dating. I take from people anyway. So most of the time when I have conversations with people, I take small pieces of their conversation and things about them. And I use that also in dating. And one of the guys that I'm kind of talking to, he is extremely affectionate. And I am not. I didn't grow up with it. I'm not the huggy person. Don't touch me. And he's like, I like PDA. I like cuddling. I don't do that. And so what I'm learning is I might need a hug, actually. I might need to be cuddled. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand it's hard to let it go, especially when my husband was incarcerated. I didn't have time to cry. I had 5 minutes to cry about it. Then I had to figure out, how am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to make sure our daughter is straight? You know what I'm saying? So I understand about letting that go. So definitely. Did anybody else want to tag on to that?
Yeah, let me tag into this real quick because I like to leave the phrase, give me room, right? I think men and women both have to give each other room to be the opposite of what they learn to be. You see what I mean? And if we give each other room to be and trust each other with our vulnerabilities and our hearts, that gives us a way to knock down some of those walls. It took me forever with my wife to actually let go of some of that control, right, of my vulnerability. It was like, because I figured it was weak if I wasn't in control, right? It was weak if I was sad. It was weak if I wasn't in control of the situation. Then I realized, no, she gives me room to do that, where the world doesn't really give me room to do that. And she did it, I think here's the key, without judgment, right?
That's good.
And if you give someone room without judgment and without reaction, that gives them permission to be who they naturally are as a human. And I think that's where we get lost sometimes. Like a lot of women, I'll see men, like a lot of reasons men won't open up to their women is because they did it once and they got slapped for it, right? They did it once and she was like, I don't know how to receive this. Like you soft, you doing too much. And he was like, all right, I'm going back to who I was. And so I think it happens in both ways.
I just want to say two things about that real fast. Like the first thing is, there's a lot of women who have said, like, whether it's online or whether it's whatever, like I need a man who's tough because I got a smart mouth. I need a man who's this because I'm hard.
Mm-hmm.
I need a man like that's not necessarily what you need. It's what you want to protect yourself from being what he said is vulnerable. That's like the biggest word that we can use today and every day is being vulnerable. And the other thing that they talked about was what a man is supposed to be. That's not even by happenstance. I'm always going to bring in the history of everything and just how we are groomed to be as men. Even the single women that raised a lot of us are still grooming their men to be the same person that they wouldn't let their daughters date. I have to be tough. I have to be rough. I have to, we see Ninja Turtles, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, all this stuff from early on, and we just are groomed to fight. That's where we live in a military state, we're groomed to fight. And so even when we like a girl and we're young, we wrestle with her because that's how we do with our boys. We don't know how to express that emotion. And so when we finally start to try, even though it's been like really beaten out of us since early age, when we start to try, that first response is negative, it's a wrap. And so now we're fighting over who's going to be vulnerable, you or me, who's going to start this. It's crazy.
This is good. And we're just getting started. All right. So I actually should have asked this at the very beginning and I didn't. So is dating dead? And if so, who or what killed it?
I definitely don't think that dating is dead. I know dating is dead because I've been on.
You've been catching them
So
many wonderful dates. I think that the right woman makes every experience better. I don't care if you're just riding in the car, walking down the street, eating dinner, having a drink, watching a movie, taking a shower. Women are the ultimate accessory to life, right? And so I enjoy dating. I think what has happened is that people have had less than desirable experiences and they're jaded and they've created these walls that are supposed to, they think are going to protect them from having bad experiences, and those walls end up protecting them from having good experiences as well. I think that the dynamics have changed. So there was a time in history where women were growing up in the house with their parents and really not leaving until they got married, and that created a level of accountability that in that time frame, a woman couldn't have 5 men courting her at the same time or anything like that. And truth be told, at that time, if you courted a woman the right way and you asked her father for her hand in marriage, you were pretty much guaranteed to get the result that you were looking for as long as you followed the steps the right way. Well, now that dynamic doesn't exist anymore, and so men are uncertain if they're gonna a return on investment. And so I think, frustrated. So there's a 50-50 conversation about living together and for dates. But I think that men have become frustrated because they feel like they want women to have skin in the game. That's all. You know what I mean? That you have to be invested in the desired result as well. And so we got society and music and movies and celebrities creating this sense of entitlement for people, men and women. So some men feel entitled to women's bodies. Women are feeling entitled to men's finances. And so it just has created a weird dynamic where people are trying to make sure that they don't give more than they get. And ultimately it boils down to return on investment. I don't think there's any man who, if he knew that if he invested his time, his energy, and his emotions into this woman, that it was going to enhance and advance his life and make his life better and help make him a better person, that he would hesitate to do that. But because of the dynamics of dating now and all of the options and the freedom and the lack of accountability, that there are a lot of people who just aren't serious and are willing to take advantage of people. And so people have all these walls to try to protect themselves from that.
I agree.
So let me jump in there real quick so dating is live and well, right? But how we date and what we're dating for has changed. I think that's the difference. So how we access people, that's changed. You got online dating, you got social media, you got all these platforms where you can have exposure to more people at the swipe of your finger than you ever had in your lifetime, right? Before you had to meet them at school, you see what I mean? Or at the mall or wherever it is. So how we date has changed. What we're dating for has changed too. Meaning before, in the older days, right? When you think about it, it was all about, financial stability. They even had arranged marriages. It was dating for business reasons. Now we date for romantic love, which is different than what it used to be. So now you got to have, what we ask of mates right now is crazy. We ask for romantic love. We ask for finances. We ask for stability. We ask for security. We ask for trust. We ask for kids. We ask for parenting. We ask a mate for everything now. So what we're dating for has changed too. I don't know if we've adapted well to that, at this point in time. And so I think once we understand that, because there are more people, we have more FOMO, right? So we have more fear of missing out. And so what happens is it's hard for people with attention spans to stay focused on people like it used to be. It used to be you used to wait by the phone on that person to call you. You see what I mean? Because it wasn't no cell phone. You didn't even know you had to wait. So now all of a sudden, you don't call me? Shoot, I'll swipe to somebody else. Somebody else going to call me. Somebody else going to talk to me. So, but I think as long as we're human, though, dating won't die. Right? As long as we're human and we want companionship, dating won't die because we still want mates and we still want people to build something with.
They said a lot, and they said like everything, and I co-sign on all of it. Like dating is not dead. Dating has just changed, and depending on who you are and your family dynamics, that's how you look at the world. It's how you look at men. It's how you look at women. It's how you look at dating. So it's very important to know where that person comes from and kind of. And that's why premarital counseling is so important, or hey, my dating coach is so important, so they can kind of. It's all about narratives. Right? It's all about the story that we tell ourselves. And so if we tell ourselves that all men are dogs, then that way I don't have to act this way because it's them, it's not me, And but the other thing, there's too many rules right now. It's too many rules. Now, Troy, you and I got a little difference in taste here. You said on your site the other day that dating should be easy, and it should. But there's some times that you got to go through some family history to get through to overcome some vulnerabilities, to overcome some mental health stuff in order to really grow together and form that bond. But there is way too many rules. I was just watching today, Gary Owens and his wife, he got her number on day 2 and she was upset because he called her on that night and he didn't wait like 3 days. It's like, are you serious? Like you have to wait 3 days in order to make a phone call? Like I don't want to seem desperate. Like, what do you want? I feel like we should just say what we want and what we need and be vulnerable about it. And if that person doesn't receive it or doesn't want the same thing, then cool. I just saved myself 3 or 4 months of BS, right? I just saved myself so much time because I said first what you wanted or what I wanted. When I first met my wife, we said, listen, this is my last time doing this. And I said, yo, I've already been married before. This is my last time doing this. So I'm going to give it everything I got. And she said, all right, I'm going to give it everything I got. Right. And we did it. But a lot of people, you know, hey, let's just talk about your favorite color. Why are we getting so deep? Or why are we having these in-depth conversations? Like when you're sitting on the bed crying one night, I'm not going to say purple and you feel better. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. Just have those conversations about what I really want early on, and you save yourself all that time of being someone that you're not even being. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. On to the next question. So, one of the main reasons I started Dating is Dead is because personally, I never felt like nobody sat me down and talked to me about dating. It was something that I just kind of had to figure out. And when I started talking about it, even with my mom, I was like, Mom, who talked to you about marriage? Who talked? And she said, nobody. And I just started asking people the same question, and everybody had the same answer. And so I still feel at the age of 41, we still don't know how to date. We don't even know what dating is. And so I wanted you to define dating. What is dating?
Can I just right quick start by saying that is like so important. There's two things our parents do not teach us, and that's about relationships and it's about sex. But there's two things that are inevitable. The two things that are going to happen. Like Troy said, in the past, it was about like a lot of arranged marriages and, you know, this person has property and my daughter can't own property and all kind of stuff. And it's changed now. But it's so important to talk to your kids about relationships and about sex because they're going to have it whether you tell them or not. So do you want it to come from you or from the internet? I took a women's studies class, 200 students, and the teacher said, how many of you had that talk? One person out of 200 raised their hand. She said, well, how the rest of you learn? Porn. Like, that's how it works. And we just keep this cycle going and then get mad at everybody else because you don't know how to do it. No one taught anyone. So all that to say, for me, dating and courtship has become a little different. But for me, dating is I have interest in you. You have interest in me. We're going to go do interesting things together and form this bond. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So that's my idea of what dating should be or is supposed to be.
Good.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. If I had to define it simply, I would say dating is collecting data.
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. I think we might have talked over each other just now. I was frozen. We good? Can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So what I was saying was, to me, dating is just collecting data, right? So you're collecting data to decide if someone could be a good fit for you long term. I mean, that's what I think dating is. And so you're watching actions, you're watching behaviors, you're watching consistency, you're watching to see how they respond under stress, you're watching to see all these things. You're collecting data about a person to decide, okay, if I want to spend the rest of my life or a long-term relationship with this person, could I do it with the data points that I have? That's what dating should be. But I think what it turns into is it turns into feelings, right? It turns into chemistry. It turns into you turn me on. And then that changes the whole dynamic of it. You see what I mean? And so now all of a sudden, the same person that's giving you bad data, they're giving you good sex. And now all of a sudden, you don't even see the bad data. You see what I mean? So for me, it's all about collecting data to see if you want to spend more time with that person. I think we overcomplicate it sometimes. We get so caught up in the feeling part of it. We don't look at what it takes to really sustain a relationship. And I think that's a problem because we don't really know what it takes to sustain a relationship long term. So how do you even know if the data is relevant if you don't really know what it takes to build a relationship? So that's how I would define it.
That's perfect, Troy.
And Yatu? And Yatu?
Yeah, my definition is right in the middle of those two guys. So can you hear me?
Yeah, you're
you got a little delay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. You can't hear me? Okay.
It's delayed.
Yeah, so dating is just a process by which two people. Okay. Dating is a process by which two people who are interested do enjoyable activities to get to know each other through. So just like Troy said, you know, you put yourself in these different situations and you able to see how people respond while hopefully have a meaningful conversation with them in order to get to know them, to see if it's something that you both would like to take further. But I also like to frame it as a process of trial and error. I think so many people are frustrated with dating is because they have an unrealistic expectation of how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be trial and error. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have some dates you do like. You're supposed to have some dates you don't like. This is how you learn about what you like, and not only learn about yourself and how you respond to the various people that you go out on dates with. Who brings out the best in you? Who makes you laugh? Who brings a smile to your face? Who has you feeling yourself after the date, as opposed to in your feelings after the date? Things of that nature.
Hopefully. Hey, can I say this real fast? Back to what these two guys are saying is perfect. When I talk to children, and they're juniors, seniors in high school, they're so depressed or so down, and I thought we were going to be together forever at 15 and 14 years old, and I'm like, listen, dating is not depressing. Like, if you're dating, it's a checklist. It's literally like, I like that, I don't like that, and everybody teaches you something, right? So at the end of the day, it shouldn't be a depressive state because it didn't work out. You should be like, thank you, now I know I don't want that and that and that. And actually, I did like that about them. We used to all make lists like back in the day, but we always went straight by the list. And it's not that. It's you're building that list up as you date. It's just like God closing every door until you reach that final door that's open and you're able to walk through because you're prepared. That's why when you go to these weddings, people are crying. They're not crying because they're so in love. They're not crying because this is the biggest day ever. They're crying because you know what I went through to get here? That's why they're crying. That's why I cried at mine.
I'm going to tell you what my ex-husband said, because he was crying and he looked sad on some of the pictures. And I asked him when we got home, I was like, babe, why do you look sad? You know what he told me? Because I feel like I lost my life. So it wasn't your answer.
well, so that was a sign.
I know.
It definitely was a sign. And Reagan, I'll tell you this, as we define dating, right? So we just defined it. I think the bigger question is for the audience is, do you even know what you want? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you so we go out, we want someone else to make us happy in dating. Oh, well, show me a good time and show me this and show me that. But most of the clients I talk to, they really don't have a roadmap to what they want. And if you have no roadmap, then guess what you're going to do? You're going to end up lost. And then you're going to blame the men. Oh, man ain't nothing. Men ain't this, and women ain't this, and you blame everybody else, but you have no roadmap to where you're trying to go. So I would challenge everybody that's on the live, like, have a roadmap to where you're trying to go.
Right. Everybody done? Just want to make sure.
Indeed.
Yeah, okay. I got some more stuff. I'm gonna let it go. Go ahead.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay.
Who's over there preaching? That's all I'm saying.
I had somebody, a friend of mine, inbox me because like I said, right now I'm a really big advocate for online dating because I'm having a really good time. And I kind of talked her into getting back on there, and she said she's been having some people that she's been interacting with, but she said, do you speak first? And I remember Troy and I kind of had not a tug of war, but I was just like, I'm not speaking, But what he was telling me is to make sure that I'm kind of putting myself in position. So it's kind of like when you are out and you see somebody and you can just say hi or whatever. And so I told her, if there's somebody that I'm attracted to, I'm going to heart you or like you or whatever. And I may speak, hi, how are you doing? I'm not really forward, like going out, with all the extra stuff. And if they are interested, they will say something back. Matter of fact, one of the main people that I'm talking to, I spoke to him first. So it's just kind of being in position. So I want you guys to kind of talk about women, maybe I won't say approaching men first, but being open and available to let the guys know that they're interested.
I think everyone is afraid of rejection. Period.
I think that
female and male, everyone. If you talk to a female about going to speak to somebody, she's going to say, "What if he don't like me?" It's the same thing we're thinking. But the only way to know that someone likes somebody is to tell them. Again, being vulnerable enough to say, this is what I want. This is what I require. And if someone doesn't like it, great. You're not the person. Great. That's amazing. Like, My wife and I met online, and I love Bumble because she had to speak first. She didn't come up with no poetic thing like y'all want us to do. She said hi, and I said hello. How are you? And we started talking. And 6 months later, we got engaged. Like that's how it happened. So I there's nothing wrong with a forward woman, and that's not to say you got to be all in depth and all kind of stuff, but just hey, I think you're attractive. Oh, great. I think you're attractive too. Or I'm sorry, I'm taken, or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Okay, good. Well,
I know Inyati, you was trying to get in there, but you was delayed. So go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Thank you, Troy. I'm definitely all for women speaking up. We're all adults. Speaking and anybody an opening to have a conversation with you is really a great thing. And so don't be discouraged if a man likes you. That's not gonna make us about you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And if he doesn't like it, then he wasn't for you anyway. It was never gonna happen anyway. And so get to it. Life is to be lived. It's all about new people, new excitement. Get out and live life. Don't sit around on your couch waiting for this wonderful life to fall in your lap in your inside your apartment by yourself.
hey, Reagan.
Yeah.
So here's what I would say, right? Some women gonna like this, some women gonna not like it. But women you can't pick and choose when you want to be empowered in your life, right? So you can't be empowered in every area of your life, but then when it comes to dating, you sit back and you just wait on everything to happen. You see what I mean? And so to me, if you're empowered as a person, if you are a confident person, then why not say, I'm a catch. So guess what? If I'm a catch, then I need to put myself in front of people that want to catch me. You see what I mean? Yeah. It's not about coming to someone and saying, I want to sleep with you. And I think that's what it gets defined as. Like, oh, if I approach, then, he gonna think I'm easy or I'm fast or whatever. That's not really what it's about. It's really about making yourself available. Make yourself available. If I can swipe online all day long, right, and just look at pictures, who's gonna stand out? More than likely, it's gonna be the person that had some empowerment, some confidence, and she said, I'm gonna speak first. You know what I mean? And to me, that shows confidence. It shows that you are a woman of confidence, and I like that. That doesn't mean you got to come to me and say I'm giving you my panties, right? That's not it. I think that's how it gets misconstrued. So that's what I would say. Be empowered, be happy, be confident, do it. Put yourself in position to win. And then otherwise you're gonna be like, oh, well, no one's dating. There's nobody out here to date. And then I hear that every single day. Ain't nobody out here to date. And then I say, okay, go online date. There's millions of men on there. And then they be like, well, no, I don't want to look thirsty and I don't want to look desperate. And I'm like, what you want? Like, decide what it is that you want. You know what I mean? And go for it.
That's good.
I just want to piggyback 1 second. Troy, that's amazing. I've never heard it framed that way. That's great funny, point. But it's amazing. Like, you have to be in a place where you can get what you want. If you at the club and you waiting for somebody to come talk to you, you're going to get a club guy. So don't be mad at him when he go to the club and you ain't there, right? But you also can't be chilling with your girls and you see a cute guy, but you never leave your girls. He's not going to approach 7 people. He's not. Okay, because somebody gonna be a hater and say something bad about him, even though he may be the stuff to you, but somebody gonna be a hater. So he's not gonna approach 7 girls. Take a minute away from your girls. Even when you go to the bathroom, 4 of them come with you. Take a minute and just walk and get a drink by yourself or something, right? Just put yourself, like you said, in a position to be the catch that you are.
That's good. Y'all, this is really good. Thank y'all. Okay. So what are the biggest complaints by men about women when it comes to dating? Do y'all know? The biggest complaint.
I told you.
You want to speak first. Sense of entitlement in y'all too?
No, I think it's the sense of entitlement. I think a lot of women confuse dating with courting. And so they want a man to court them day one, but he doesn't know you. Court means to try to impress the woman to make her want to marry you, try to make it go in that direction. But how you gonna court somebody that you just met? You've been on one date with, 2 dates with, and so you know, a lot of traditions, and women might not like to hear this, but women have spearheaded that change. That women decided they wanted to go to work. Women decided that they should have equitable pay, and I support all of these things. But like Troy stated earlier, you can't be independent and empowered and make as much money, and then all of a sudden, you know, now you want to throw all that out the window and go back to all the old school traditions. And so that's a huge complaint. I think women are complaining about men wanting Netflix and chill and go on pre-dates and things. But I think the reason for that has become, as I said earlier, men are just concerned about getting a return on investment. Men are concerned about women having a name and not just, you know, using them for a free meal or, you know, because they're bored. And unfortunately, you know, that happens a lot.
Ooh-wee. I got a surprising thing I hear men complain about.
What?
That women aren't going to think it's true, but inconsistency. So women always complain about men being inconsistent. Oh yeah. So women complain to me, oh, he's so inconsistent. He's so this. But I have heard men say over and over and over again, these women are very inconsistent. And there's probably 1,000 reasons for it, right? Maybe she's not that into him. Maybe she is busy working, you know, whatever. But men tell me all the time, like, these women are really inconsistent. You know, so women have FOMO just like men do. So let's not get it twisted. You know, they own to the next thing, you know, as well. And I think a lot of it is that pride battle. You see what I mean? It's that I ain't reaching out to him because if he want me, he gonna text me first. And so
Right.
men be like, oh well, now she inconsistent. She won't even hit me up, right? And so you got two people fighting the same battle.
Yeah.
I've literally watched the guy fight his ego to be like, nope, I ain't reaching out. I want to talk to her, but I ain't reaching out because she'll never reach out to me. You see what I mean? So if we just have reciprocation, then it's easy. It's easier, D'Angelo. It's easier.
I think you see that clarity is great.
There you go. So no, I would say inconsistency is one that I hear a lot. And like Brother Nyatu said, ooh, this whole like entitlement thing where you a boss woman, but yeah, I gotta spend $200 on dinner. Man, what is that about? Right? It's beneath you for us to go to have coffee. I thought we was getting to know each other. I thought I thought that was the goal. Like ice cream, that's a problem. I got to take you to Ruth Chris. You see what I mean?
Well, no.
Well, what?
Nothing.
you see what I'm saying? Like, think about how much it costs to date. I always challenge women to think about this. Right? Think about how much it costs to date if you're a man. That's a lot of money. If I'm spending 60, 70, 80, $100 a date and I'm dating 5 women, how much money I spend in a week?
Well, y'all need to choose better than choose wisely.
Well, how about y'all pay some of that tab?
Yeah, I had that same experience too, Troy. Like when I got divorced originally, I was a single father of 3 girls and I had custody of all of them. And I was trying to date and trying to find somebody for me. And I kept hearing everybody on their profile, I want to travel. Great. I'm a single father with 3 kids. And so, like, you know, I even told one girl, I was lying too. I ain't gonna lie, I was lying. And I said, we can go out the country twice a year. Now, listen, I've never been out the country before, ever. Okay, ever.
That was a big lie.
I said twice a year. And she said, I mean, if that's all, don't get mad when I go with somebody else. Well, what? So when I'm talking about expensive, it's not a game. Like, it's really expensive. It's really expensive if that's your goal. And so, like you said, choose better and find a person that's not their main priority. The main priority is getting to know you, and then they can reap all the benefits of what you have to offer. But the other thing that I want to touch on real quick is Brother Marvel said something about being independent. And I think that term has changed from what it was supposed to be. Independence was originally, if I don't have a man, I'll be okay. Somehow it's turned into, I don't need a man. That's what's unattractive. Because if you don't need me, why am I here?
Right.
You can't just need me when you want something. You know, like you have to show me that I'm appreciated and that I'm needed and that I'm wanted and I'm respected. That's the same thing you want. And again, it goes back to being vulnerable. That's literally like the main word. But consistency is number two. Number two. I know how many times you've called a girl and said, "Hey, let's hang out. Can you come over? I got a date. I got some plan. Oh, well, I'm busy. I'm this, and this, because she probably got 2 or 3 other dudes that she's messing with. And then when you're busy, I haven't talked to you in a while. You want to go? No. I have stopped talking to many people like that. Many people. Consistency is number 2, right after vulnerability.
Okay. Is that it? All right. So, y'all, I have my first date coming up. And I'm excited about that. So, I talked to my 12-year-old and she gave me some tips. But since you guys are grown men, tell me, what do men expect on the first date? What are we talking about? What are we doing? What is the first date supposed to, or not supposed to look like? But what do you expect on the first date? What are we doing?
Can I just say, first and foremost, I want you to look like you do in your profile picture. Let's start there. Let's start there, okay?
Okay.
And number 2 is just a good conversation. And that's not you interviewing me. So what kind of job do you have? So what do you got going on? So how many kids do you have? So what do you think? That's not an interview process. I literally sat with my wife in a restaurant and heard this conversation across from us, and it was literally an interview. You could tell it's the first date. It was an interview. That's not what it's supposed to be. Let's just have a conversation. You know, hey, you know, where do you work at? Well, you know, oh, I like doing this. I'm really interested in this. I'm really interested in this too. Oh, you know, I've been here. Oh, that's cool. I've been here too. It's not like who, what, when, where, how. That's not what a date is. So, A, make sure that you look like you're supposed to look on your profile picture. And 2, a healthy conversation. That's it.
All right. Brother Yatu, what's the first date look like?
Definitely show interest. I think I agree with D'Angelo 100%. It should be all about good conversation, stimulating conversation, meaningful conversation. You know, what he said earlier was so potent. I love how he phrased it. He's like, you know, asking you what your favorite color is, and that's not to say I never want to know what your favorite color is, but you know, that's not going to dictate compatibility, and it's certainly not going to empower me to be a good mate to you down the line. And so I think people need to be intentional about their conversation, not an interview, just like D'Angelo said, but not just be shooting the shit about nothing. And this is what you create the habit of doing on dates. And then 6 months later, people are like, what are we doing and where is this going? And y'all don't know nothing about each other, really. You know what I'm saying? That y'all just been talking about the headlines and, you know, the WAP video or whoever, you know, whatever's happening on social media, instead of something that's going to help you guys determine whether you're compatible.
All right.
Man. So what I would add to that is good energy. No one wants to feel like if I go on a date with you, I don't want to feel like you don't want to be there, right? I also don't want to feel like you are a negative Nancy, like you treat the waitress bad, you treat the people around you bad, you sad, you overwhelmed from work, whatever it is. If the energy is not good, I don't want to be there, right? So if you're gonna go on a date, if you're having a bad day, don't go on a date. Right? Because that's going to turn most men off. Like, I don't want your bad negative energy. Let me get to that later when we already together or something. I'll figure that out. But man, energy's got to be top notch. And then I love what D'Angelo said about the whole interviewing. I've heard many a men say, I feel like I was in an interview with this woman. You know what I mean? And here's this organic conversation that happens that gets you all the answers you want. You see what I mean? If you're not a good conversationalist, you better practice. You better figure it out. If you used to just texting all day, that's the problem. A lot of people that can't even talk anymore. You know what I mean? But if you can't have you can get what you want out of someone if you are a good conversationalist. But if you all you do is, oh, last tip, this right here, the cell phone. If you pay more attention to this cell phone than to me, we got a problem.
I'm gonna put my cell phone away because I do have an issue with my cell phone, period. So I'm gonna put it away.
Thank you, please. Put the cell phone away. Let me feel like you want to be there.
Yeah, somebody, and to kind of go into that, I think Damon asked a question or a statement. Right. If you want me, you'll do what it takes to have me. Do you guys agree with that sentiment? As far as a woman is concerned, like we'll do whatever it takes to have a man. Is that what you're saying, Damon? I just want to make sure I'm saying that correctly.
Let's see.
Okay, and somebody else said your first date should be a continuation of the intentional conversations and established dialogue from several prior conversations. So just an extension of what you've already been talking about. I think Loretta had said something too, this while I'm waiting on Damon to respond. Loretta says to use discernment, to listen to her speak, stop jumping to the date without learning a little more about your subject, how she thinks, what she values, what she expects. You'll save a lot of money, time, and gas.
I could agree with that.
We got a lot of preaching.
So we got like discernment. Like, yes, you have to use your discernment, but you also got to be clear about your intentions as well. You know, I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to be Cleo and figure out what you're trying to say. Be clear about your intentions. I'll be clear about my intentions, and we can go from there. Maybe they're the same, and maybe they're not the same. We know early, and we can stop this before it starts. But what he was saying about continuing conversation you had earlier, yeah, your first date is not my first time talking to you.
Right.
Right. I've talked to you a week or 2 or 3 weeks before, and it should just be a regular conversation now. We should have already been at home talking about you hang up. No, you hang up. I should have had my feet in the air. I should have been twirling the phone. I'm not on the phone course no more. But, you know, that's already should have happened. So when we get in person, it's just a continuation of that.
And Yatu, were you trying to say something? And Yatu, you're frozen.
In going out on a date with. I definitely don't believe in going out on a date with a woman that I haven't had 2 or 3 really good. So I definitely believe people should, have conversations before they go out on a date. I've heard some women say that they're against that. Basically, he needs to pay for my time, so he can take me out to even be able to talk to me. I think that's ridiculous.
That's user discernment right there.
I'm like, what is the service she's offering that I'm paying for? Right, that's crazy.
Damon said I was saying. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, media is crazy. No, I was just saying social media introduces me to so many crazy things that I haven't experienced, but I see people make that.
Okay, let's see. Damon was saying, I don't want you to need me. I need you to want me. So I've had this conversation before. What's the difference between want and need in relationships?
It's a multi-layered question. So need, I think
yeah. Oh, go ahead, Troy.
No, go ahead, Yatu.
Go down, Yatu.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, a woman might want a well-dressed man, but she needs a man who loves her, supports her, listens to her, right, and leads her. So, it's active as far as what want and what they need, but I think a lot of people identify more with what they want than what they need. I read a quote that says it takes a long time to learn to like what's good for you. And so a lot of people think they have a type, and life should have taught them after 20 years that their type is really not their type, right? It's just what they want. It's definitely not what they need.
Right. That's good. That's good.
That's real good.
Did anybody
Thank you
want
for-
to? Go.
So what I would say is, you know, I think there's a difference between preferences and people that can create good partnership. You see what I mean? And I think a lot of us have good preferences. You know, we want a woman to look like this. We want a man to look like this. You got to make this kind of money. You got to do this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, when you build a relationship, it's about partnership. You see what I mean? That's why you'll see a lot of times, like women don't understand this, but you'll see a lot of times, you'll see a man with a woman who you think he shouldn't be with by the way she looked.
Right.
Right? You'll be like, how he get her? You see it? How she get him? You be thinking that kind of thing because at some point a man understands what he needs versus what he wanted. You see what I mean? What was the trophy versus what he can build a life with. And the same thing for women. I think a lot of times you see the opposite. So to me, it's about preferences versus partnership. And if you understand what it really takes to be in good partnership with someone and to build a legacy and to build a family, that's totally different than what you want all the time. You know what I mean? What you want might be what you scrolled across on Facebook, but what you need is what's at your house. You see what I'm saying? And so we gotta be smart. I don't think a lot of us do the work though. If you don't do the work to figure that out, then you're gonna end up with what you wanted and not what you needed.
I just want to say I challenge his belief that he doesn't want to be needed. I
What
challenge
now?
that. I said I want to challenge the belief that he does not want to be needed.
Okay.
I believe that the perfect person for us, the two should meet, should merge. What I want and what I need should merge together. But I believe if a woman wants your time, but you don't have it, she can get it from someone else. But if she needs you for something, that means something different to me. You know, if I'm having a bad day, I don't just want you to listen to what happened. I don't just want you to console me, to comfort me. I need you to do it. Because if I chose you, you're the only one I have. If I want you to do it, I can go get it from somebody else. So I just challenge that the thought process of I don't want someone to need me. I want someone to want me. Yes, you want to be wanted, but you also, there is a point where you want someone to love you so much, to be invested so much. If you have truly given your all to someone, you need them to hold that safety, that security, all the stories, all the secrets, everything I gave you. I need you to hold that for me, because the alternative is I just been vulnerable for no reason. Which is going to put me back into a shell. I need for you to be that person for me so that I can truly be who I am. I think that's a difference. So I just,
So D'Angelo, let me ask you something. Do you think like a lot of times the word need gets a negative connotation?
Yes. Because again, going back to the independence, like I don't need nobody. You do. Everybody needs something. Everybody needs somebody. You do.
I agree.
Period.
We're just scared to say it, I guess.
Yeah. Because what if I don't get it?
Right.
That's the anxiety.
Yeah. This is good, y'all. I'm gonna keep saying it. This is really good. Thank you. I'm gonna do one more. Go ahead.
We didn't hear you, Marvel. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that that ultra independence is a response to trauma, and that's where you get people saying they don't need because they felt like they did need and people let them down, and so now they have this ultra independence where they have to try to create a life where they're not dependent on anybody and create a mindset where they don't need anybody because they've been let down. So unfortunately, that exists tremendously in the Black community. Ultra independence, both men and women. We don't family if they acting up, our friends if acting up. We don't need our kids if they acting up. We don't need nobody. That is a response to trauma.
Yeah. That's good. That's good, brother. And y'all too. I'm gonna ask one more question and I'm gonna let you guys go. Let me pick one because I still have several. Okay. So men, what could women do better to make themselves more appealing or attractive to men? And I'm not just talking physical, just inside work, out the whole gamut of everything. What could we do better to make ourselves more appealing to men as a whole?
Well,
I'm gonna let y'all go first.
You like us, you like men, right? And that reflects in the things that come out of your mouth and your behavior. Because there are a lot of women that I see that act like, or they want a man, but if you listen to everything comes out of the mouth, you would think that they don't even like men. So be in alignment with what you say you want, and what you do. Let that all be lined up with what you say you want. A lot of people are, I like to say, people are speeding down a one-way street going the wrong way. So it's that way. But you speeding, going against traffic, going the other way, about to crash. Because you're not in
It's so true, man. Hey, brother Yatu, I always say, I see women every day post memes about how bad men are and then want a man. I'm like, if you want me to stop pursuing you, start posting memes about how terrible men are. You see what I'm saying? It's like it just doesn't go together. So, but anyway, my answer to the question though, Reagan, is seek to understand. That's what I would say. Seek to understand so much of who we are. I think men have actually been slighted because we've been told or pictured as we are just so simple of a being, right? We're simple beings, but we're complex humans, right? We see the world differently than you do. We experience things differently than you. We were raised differently than you were. We have different thought processes. So seek to understand us before you judge us. You see what I mean? Seek to understand where we're coming from, like what our background is, how we were socialized. Those things matter because then now you know how to interact with me. But if you go ask all your homegirls about men, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna still get a woman's perspective about men. And then you're gonna be mad when he don't show up to be who you thought your homegirl said he would be. It don't work that way. Like, we different. So seek to understand is what my answer would be.
That is a pet peeve of mine for a female to ask another female about a man. Like, just ask a dude or ask your dude. Like it's so like. Okay, so two things. First of all, one of this is going to be very. I don't think that women are going to take this, but I'm telling you, every guy is going to co-sign on this. I want you to be comfortable, and what I mean by that is, no man cares if you have red bottoms. No man cares about the size of your eyelashes. No man cares about the amount of your makeup. No man cares about any of this stuff. But women do this stuff to impress other girls. Look what I got that you don't. It's not, if you want a man, like Mr. Marvel was saying, if you want a man, we want you to be comfortable, right? If we chilling around the house and you in a tank top and some sweatpants, you are great to us. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be in the sundress and the high heels and what. Just be comfortable, because nothing is more unattractive than a female that can't walk in high heels but trying to. Okay. All right. So the second part of that, is I need for you to pay close attention to your mental health. So Ignatius said it earlier about people want to find people to make them happy. That's the first mistake. You have to be happy within yourself, love yourself, be able to spend time by yourself before you get into a relationship with someone else. Because if I can't look in the mirror and tell myself I love myself, how can I expect someone else to do it? That's not fair. I've done this workshop about, it's like a self-esteem workshop. I've done it with kids. I've done it with 50-year-olds. You ask them to look in the mirror and say 3 things you love about yourself, and they just begin to cry. 50-year-olds can't do it. So how do you expect someone else to tell you that they love you and mean it? So I need for you to focus on your mental health and focus on loving you. And the more you love you, and that's not to say that I don't need nobody else because I love myself. That's just to say I am comfortable enough to be myself. That's all it says. I'm comfortable enough to be vulnerable and to be myself and live in my truth. Then when you date, it'll be so much easier.
That's good. Oh my gosh. Is that everything? Okay. Y'all, thank y'all so much. I really, really, really appreciate you guys. I really, really do. And I'm sure, just judging by the comments, they're excited too. I have put for everybody who wants to know how to contact these men.
Okay.
What'd you say? And y'all too? And
Oh,
y'all
no, I
too?
was just
Did
saying
you
that's
say?
awesome. I'm sorry.
Okay. I just make sure I didn't want to skip over
I
you,
just said
but
that's awesome.
thank you. I'm really glad you guys came, but I put everybody's that's on this panel right now. I have put their website below in the comment. Like I said, they are able to talk to you about anything pertaining to relationships. And D'Angelo is also, you are a therapist now, right? Correct.
Not quite yet. Not
Okay.
quite yet. Just
Well, he
relationship
said
coaching right now.
yeah, he said, honey, he's going through school on top of school on top of school. But he talks to me and you guys listen to me, so we're doing something right. But anyway, their contact information is below. I thank everybody for joining me tonight. We're going to start trying to do these a few nights a week with just different conversations about relationships. Everybody wants to feel love, and we just need a better understanding of it. So once we get that, I think we'll be good to go. So anyway, you guys have a blessed night. Guys, thank you again for joining me. My name is Reagan Adams with All Things Reagan, and Reagan says, I think it, I see it, I do it. You guys have a good night. Bye.